The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield 4. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
After an internet storm blew into Suzuka, stopping the round 7 race well short of its scheduled distance and forcing only half points to be awarded, the Championship Motorsports iRacing GT3 Series stays in the land of the rising sun as Twin Ring Motegi plays host to round 8 of 10 on the Season 2 schedule. And you'll be able to see all the nighttime action from Orange Zone to Champagne Splash Zone live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Once again, konnichiwa everyone, and welcome to GSRC's Countdown to the Green. I'm Bill Soupzon, and I'll be watching the Pro and Am classes. Joining me in the booth is James Krahula, and he'll be watching the gentleman drivers. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director, Amjad Yaman, and Dougie Beard is our camera guru. This 15-minute Streamy Award-worthy pre-race show will count us down to when our field of Audis, Mercedes, BMWs, McLarens, and Fords gets shown the green flag, when in theory, they'll still need to carefully negotiate the first lap orange zone before being turned loose to race in earnest exiting turn 5. So bring cyberspace into your place. Hopefully you sealed up your bag of flavored rice crackers from Suzuka to keep them fresh for Motegi. Pour yourself another icy glass of melon cream soda and enjoy the 60 minutes of simulated sport car excitement that will be streaming your way. Now, last round at Suzuka, the race had to be stopped prematurely when an internet storm rained down, but the CMS guys showed how a great organizing body works in the face of adversity as they went to their rule book, found the section that applies, and just such a circumstance, and awarding half points to drivers based on the running order when the storm struck. And you know, for those unfamiliar with Championship Motorsports, it is a virtual motorsports and sim racing league that's been around since 1999, offering a variety of racing and training programs using computer simulations on several platforms like R-Factor 2, GTR2, and Richard Burns Rally. But as always, the name of the platform for any GSR presentation is iRacing, and the track on tap is iRacing's laser-scanned version of Motegi. Now, to tell you a little bit about the track, let me turn it over to my partner tonight, James Krahula. Go ahead, James.
Man, Motegi is a fun track here, just located near Motegi, Japan. Twin Ring name comes from the facility having 2 racetracks. You will see an oval on here, but you have the road course that runs below, inside and outside of that oval. So that's where the Twin Ring name comes from. It was built in 1997 by Honda as part of the company's efforts to bring the IndyCar series to Japan. It did, and that's where racing favorite Danica Patrick got her only major series win that took place there on the oval. IndyCars actually run on both the oval and the road course here, but the road course here today is going to be 4.8 kilometers, 2.983 miles for those in the States, 11 turns, and Soup, I like you call this, it's laid out like a supermarket, but we're just 86 miles also from the Fukushima nuclear disaster. We have a lap guide here to show you how to get around the Twin Ring Motegi road course.
Alright, we've got Kevin Brown in the GSRC BMW, so let's do a lap around Motegi. Coming down to turn 1, we'll turn a full 180 degrees around a double apexer. But because the curve is so gentle, it's kind of a medium speed corner. Pass attempts will need you to be well up the inside if you don't want your nose chopped off. If anything, it's a lot more important to square off the exit right so that you get a good launch down this next stretch. See, turn 3 is a bit sharper, so it's a slightly better opportunity to execute an overtake. Now, even by yourself, 4 will be tricky. Just a little lift, and then try your best to carry as much speed as you can onto the 3rd long straightaway in a row. You're certainly not shy of chances to make a pass happen, because turn 5 is sharper yet again. With the track switching direction, it's easy to hold left to defend, but just be wary not to outbrake yourself. Your opponent could pull an over-under and take you on the exit. 6 is a flat-out gentle bend that will lead into the 7 and 8 complex. These are 2 of the trickiest bends on the track. This is a medium-speed S-curve that looks simple enough, but lures you into getting onto the power too quickly with its longer second half. And if you find yourself being hounded, that's a very bad move to make. Turn 9 is a sharp left-hander that, despite the short run, is prone to surprise passes. But it's a decreasing radius, so it has its own set of challenges, without fending off your opponent. Should you find yourself taken down a notch, the good news is that Turn 10 can provide easy redemption. It's a long, slow horseshoe hairpin with a good-sized braking zone, so having a go on entry can work. But at the same time, you can square off the second half and get a great launch, creating an opportunity to out-drag someone down to 11. But you're not scot-free from there. 11 has a bit of a downhill braking zone, and even though there's plenty of sand trap to save you if you overshoot it, you'll lose precious time getting back to the track. Now, we head back under the oval into the infield where we hit the final chicane. The jink to the left right before you brake means a stable car during deceleration will be extra valuable. Be careful not to wander into the weeds on the exit. Straighten the car out and ride it home to the start-finish line. You've then finished a lap around Twin Ring Motegi.
Dougie Beard behind the wheel, Joe Peak behind the mic, taking us a lap around Motegi. Now what we want to do is review what happened last time from Suzuka. Remember, we weren't able to bring you the final results because we weren't sure what the ruling was going to be, so we can bring those up right now to you and we'll talk about them. And now, if you can see up front there, you'll see highlighted in white and then in yellow. The drivers in white are all your pro drivers. You see that Paul Darling got awarded this event. He picked up 12.5 points, and then Victor Tanaka got 9 points for finishing second. Remember, Tanaka was leading until he got tangled up with the back marker. This will give us a good opportunity to see how these results are scored against each other. Notice when you get to 7th position, that's Robert Tarbox. He was your winner of your amateur drivers there. Notice he got 12.5, the same amount of points that Darling get, because all the points, the classes are ranked against each other. We can go to the next overlay now. This will show you how that's all mixed in as you go further along. See Poulter picking up 2 points for being in the pro class. You go through, look in 13th position. That's Peter Hebron, marked there, highlighted in blue. 12.5. He was able to get the best of James Hume, who he's been chasing all season long. James picked up 9. Now, those guys are, of course, your gent drivers. Goes all the way through. Let's look at the next overlay there, and you can see that's left over on this one. You're going to see nothing but the gent drivers. They go all the way down, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then half points over there for James, Anthony James and Samuel Scott. Everybody gets a point as long as you complete a certain amount of distance. Now, remember, 25 points for winning, but they only got 12.5 for the winner there because they did half points. Let's go ahead and see how that affected the points championship now as we bring those up. You can see that the Delta driver Umberto Roca has a 40-point lead over Screw Loose Audi's Victor Tanaka. Now, keep in mind the max any driver can score per race is about 25 or 30, depending on the race length. So, with only this and two more races left, if the tank is going to shoot down the Eagle, he needs to take aim right now. Paul or my darling is only 45 back of the lead. Now, stay with me here. Roca was the big winner at Suzuka because he was the last of all the pro drivers, and Darling and Tanaka went 1-2. But because the race only awarded half points, the margin that Darling and Tanaka would have closed on the point leader was cut in half. Now, Castro and Lawson sit 4th and 5th for 49 Motorsports and Screw Loose Ford, respectively. Moving to the AM drivers, Puffin's James Lundy's once substantial lead is now only 8 points over Chris Hudson of Can-Am Racing Black. Still in the hunt is Can-Am Silver Drew Litke, but he might need some misfortune to befall the drivers ahead of him if he's going to make that kill. Look for Screw Loose Audi's Chris Paulson to move around Little Miguel Crudo, who's still on the men for iLivery's Delta. Moving to the gent class now, just like the previous two overlays, everybody held station in the gentleman's class. Puffin's James Hume will need the wheels to fall off the cart for his teammate Peter Hebron to make this interesting. Hebron might best turn his attention to what is behind him as skid mark Scotty Johnson has ideas of stepping up a podium level. All balls Anthony James and champions David Anderson are in near dead heat there for 4th position. So, James, that's where we are now. Let's go ahead and talk about what's coming up.
Absolutely, and we are in round 8 tonight. Is that where we're at? Oh, yep, round 8 tonight. Mm-hmm. Yep. So we have 6 1-hour races and 4 100-minute races. This will be a 1-hour race here tonight. The cars are your GT3s, which I wish that iRacing had a few more of these, but we have the Audi R8, the BMW Z4, the Mercedes AMG, the McLaren MP4, and the Ford GT. Now, guys are allowed to switch once per season if they want to switch cars. But the setups will be open, 65% fuel, so we will be seeing a pit stop here tonight, and they are allowed 1 fast repair as well. No incident cap out here, and the orange zone, that is a interesting one. I'll let you talk a little bit more about that one there, Bill.
Yeah, they get 4 violations per season. We saw Dexter Castro get into with our leader there the other time, last race with Roca. They ruled that a racing incident. So there's 4 of those, and then they get suspended. I'll take us out through the end here as we move down. There are local yellows only, and there's pit window about 20 to 40 minutes, and the weather is dynamic. We bring up the race details there. You see that we have 40 minutes of qualifying, 60-minute sprint here today. It's a rolling start. Now, what is important? Number 4, that's the orange zone. And James, this is something that we'll have to watch. They're supposed to behave themselves all the way through turn 5. That means they're going to go past the start-finish line, up like the frozen food aisle, then they're going to turn down, go down the canned food aisle there with vegetables and fruits, then do another one, come back up, and when they finish going through like home necessities, then they have to make that right-hand turn. That's turn 5 as they go under the bridge. That's when they can start to race for real in the supermarket that is the Motegi layout. Hey, James, you talked about the GT3s, which there were 3 more. Do you know if they're going to bring that Porsche in? Is that going to be a GT3 car, do you think?
Oh, I think everyone here is just waiting for the Porsche. It's one we've all been waiting for a long time, and so with it being such a popular one, I'm sure that we'll see it here before too long. Definitely, especially with it being the newer one, and man, it is a absolute blast to drive as well. So who knows? You might see some guys asking for that Porsche here come next season.
Okay, I think we're getting close to qualifying being done. We might as well get the grid up right now as we can go through it. So let me pull up my qualifying times there. And we'll take these 2 at a time. Sitting on the front row. Now, I noticed suspicious by his absence is our point leader. I do not see the Eagle Umberto Roca on there. So we'll see if he pops in here later. But on the front row, there it is, the 2 guys who are sitting right behind him trying to run him down, and this will help. It's Paul Darling on the pole and James Victor Tanaka in second.
Your first AM driver, Chris Hudson, will be starting third. Outside of him, Tom Rithg in 141.
Row 3 made up of a pair of pro drivers, I believe there, with Daniel Snorderlin and Mike Griffin.
Jason Lundy in 7th, and right beside him will be Robert Tarbox Jr.
And then the driver that James is going to keep an eye on, that's the leader in the gentleman's class. That's James Hume on the inside of row 5. Outside of him, Drew Litke. Go ahead, James.
Peter Hebron will be starting in the 11th position. Outside of him will be James Stacy.
All right, then we have Curtis Paulson and Samuel Scott, who saw picking up a half point there last time at Suzuka, sitting in 14th spot. James?
And Anthony M. James will be starting 15th. Outside of him in row number 8, Jay Dargett.
Bart Workman, who we saw up in the front of the gentleman's class a little bit last time at Suzuka, is going to be starting as 17th. Outside of him, Jay Friels.
Travis Kohlhoff will be starting in that 19th position. Outside of him, Scott A. Johnson.
Hitting Black Shack on the inside of row 11, is Paul Hamilton. Outside of him, Leon Park, and that's 22 drivers. Kind of a small field here today. Is that everybody? There we go. We have a little short field, only 22. So it's good to have James sitting in with us for the first time in the Championship Motorsports Series. James, you have a good time. These guys put it on a good show, and we won't have to work too hard with only 22 guys out there. Let's see how many. I think you had about 11 or 12 in the gentleman's class. Let's see if I can line them up. We'll count them up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 for you to watch out for there. That's nicely that they split up. James has 11 to watch, and Soup will handle 11. Mine will be split between the pro class and the amateur class. If you're watching at home for the first time, if you want to know who's an amateur, who's a pro, who's a gentleman, if the car number starts in the 100s, that means they're a pro. If they start in the 200s, they're an amateur driver, and then the gentleman driver get to start in the 300s. By watching Game of Thrones, we know that the night is dark and full of terrors, and you can see them out there right now trying to grid up. Still waiting, I believe, for our pole sitter to get out there. No, Darling is... It looks like they're out there now. Darling and Tanaka both out there. Robert Sticky Tarbox is not out there yet. Waiting for him to grid from that number 8th position. Robert just taking his time. He wanted to make sure he didn't hustle in there, make sure that the announcers had plenty of time to get through the grid. Robert starting 3rd in his amateur class. If you're watching this track for the first time, you'll see him go under the underpass a few times. They'll never be on that upper track. That is the oval track that runs along the above this twisty 11-turn road circuit.
Yeah, and the cool part about this one is that the road course and the oval 100% separate. You don't have any roval. They won't utilize that oval, not even on the front stretch or anything. It's very, very cool.
You can't get there from here. That's when they want to try to race from the road course to get to the oval. Not going to work. Okay, I hope the drivers practice their pit entrance because it's tricky here, especially in the nighttime. As the pace car pulls off, the pace car knows where to go. Now, waiting for it is Paul, oh my darling, waiting to get the cue. Nobody can go till the green flag strikes. Paul holding him up, and there's the green. You can hear the cars start to accelerate. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn, and Paul, oh my darling, leaves them down into the first corner, ducking on the inside now. Look at that, that's Chris Hudson, that's the amp driver trying to move up into 3rd. The tank says no way as Victor Tanaka locks down 2nd position. Back and forth is Tom Ratchie, and Jason Lundy rounds out the top 5. James, it looked pretty clean back there, huh?
Yeah, not a whole lot. I mean, we have a couple guys getting checked up here, a little bit of contact. We have everyone still going straight there. That looked pretty bad there for a second, but we are about out of this orange zone here.
There were some 3 wides as they went through quarter 4. Now they work through quarter 5, go under the underpass, and now there are no restrictions now. I'm not sure if there were any restrictions before.
And then there is James Hume, which is off a little bit of damage there on the left side. He will drop to the back of the pack here. Heavy damage to that Ford GT.
James Hume is your leader in the gentleman's class. He'll have his work cut out for him. Bad news is he ran into trouble early. Good news is there is a fast repair, and there's only 21 cars between him and the lead as we have a small field today. Up front, there is no change still. Everybody's still running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as announced earlier. It is a dark night in Japan right now. Those headlights are going to come into play.
Yeah, we were joking that this is the land of the rising sun, but here we are here at night. And you just got to love these night races here, especially in the road cars.
Darling makes his way under the underpass right now. Beneath the underpass does that right-hander that sets up completion of lap number 2. He's being followed by Tanaka. Hudson maintains in 3rd. Ratche and Lundy, your top 5. I'll run it back a little bit farther. Daniel Snordlin, always somebody to keep an eye on, another pro driver. Mike Griffith, good to see Mike back. He's won a couple of these races in the past, running in 8th position. Tarbox out there in 9th. Litke running, in 8th. Ritke in 9th. And Peter Hedron, the leader of your gentleman class right now, running in 10th spot. Things are settling down. Let's go ahead right now. We're going to do Formula 1 style. Go back and review the start for you right now. James, I'll go ahead and watch that. If you can maybe keep an eye out there and let us know if there's anything we're missing while we're looking at this replay on the start. It all went pretty clear. What we might want to do, Director, is follow them all the way around to like turns 3 and 4 and maybe look at it back at somebody like Jay DeGare back there somewhere a little bit farther back. Now here we go. We see they work their way through the 1 and 2. Now we're going to stay on Ulm here because Ulm had some issues. They work their way down into 3 and 4. They're coming right at you. You can see some of the drivers kicking up the cones. Look at those lights shining at you. Flip your sunglasses on so you don't get a glare. Now we're looking at Ulm. That's where it was 3 wide. There you go. You see they got that bump going on. That was through 3. Then they came around 4. Now they're coming at you as they head to 5. This is all really supposed to be still in the orange zone. Everyone's supposed to be behaving themselves right now. Then this right-hander is 5. This is when they turn it loose, I believe. And there comes Hume. You see him getting off, and that's when everybody goes around him again. Now they should start racing. So Hume ran into a little trouble in the orange zone. So apparently some of the drivers a little colorblind, like the commentator, didn't realize that they were still supposed to be extra careful there. All right, James, how's it going out there?
We're going good. I don't think we had a single bit of contact or a single pass since we were away looking at that replay.
The drivers know the routine here at GSRC, know that they want to behave lap 3 when we go ahead and do our review. So let's go ahead and run down how the amateur drivers are doing right now. Your leader out there in the amateurs, that's going to be Chris Hudson. He's running in second spot. He's got a little bit of room on Tom Ratchey, but of course Ratchey is a pro driver. But Ratchey is kind of the buffer between him and your points leader, Jason Lundy. Now, we talked about Lundy had that huge lead all season. That has really shrunk, and the guy who's shrunk it is Chris Hudson. So that 8-point lead, boy, that's going to be gobbled up. That'll be almost nothing right now with Hudson running a couple positions ahead of Lundy. You got to go all the way back to Tarbox running in 8th overall to see your second driver in the amateur class, but he is being challenged. Right behind him in the darkness, Drew Litke looking to take over 3rd in that class. Then it's quite a bit down until you get back to Curtis Paulson running, I believe, 12th overall. There's your top 5 in those. We like to run this, we like to cover this as if it were a multi-class series, but in all honesty, James, they're kind of mixed up. When you do a multi-class series, they're kind of separated by speed and how they start on the grid, but everyone qualifies the same. So in this situation, it's kind of like a blended margarita. There's all sorts of different ingredients in there, but it's all mixed up, makes into a nice, tasty race.
Oh, and we have something going on with Lundy. Let's see if we can figure out.
Oh my goodness, he took a hard shot off into the... I'm not sure who that was who went straight off. Was that Lundy who took the... Oh, Lundy got turned, that's what it was. That's why.
It looks like Lundy, this is braking point or had a brake problem or something, but he went way hard into that turn and made contact there with the...
it was Ratchey who was behind him, yeah. Yeah, Ratchey was... Boy, I don't think that was a mistake. I think that was a technical... That was a hardware failure. No way Jason missed the braking point that bad. Came right across the nose of the base 8 hammer. Tom Ratchey, hopefully Ratchey didn't suffer too much damage. Those guys are both the top pro drivers for Puffin Racing. And of course, there is a team championship that we didn't cover because it wasn't up in the forums this time. But Puffin Racing has had most of their scoring coming from the gentleman class. Lundy, of course, an amateur, and Ratchey, a pro driver, have not put in much points.
But yeah, I have to agree with you there, Bill. After looking at that a few more times, I think that's probably a hardware failure. I don't think that he would misjudge the corner that badly. So I did a great job to avoid the 2 guys in front of him because that was a lot of speed difference there to overcome.
I think he did. I think he realized something was wrong, and hopefully the steering wheel was still working and was able to guide us, kind of like, if the plane's coming down, let's not try to land it in a school. So he did a good job of avoiding all the populated areas. Tom Ratchey probably thankful for that. So that moves Snortland up to 4th position. You see him in a battle right now, right behind him. We were just on as they go under the underpass. That's Mike Griffith. Now, Griffith has a few victories in this series in the past. Haven't seen much from him right now. He's a pro driver. What that means for Chris Hudson is his biggest competitor, Lundy. I would not be surprised. 8-point difference. Have to look at the drop weeks and what Lundy has in his pocket. Well, I'm pretty sure Lundy doesn't have much to come back on. I think when we come back next time from the ring, I think we're going to have a new amateur champion or leader, and that's going to be Chris Hudson right now.
Currently, Peter Hebron is your gentleman driver category leader. But right now, Anthony M. James in the 316, he's not too far behind them. He gained a 10th on him that last lap, running 8th and 9th overall right now, but so far putting a good effort forth, but we see that that lead's shrinking just ever so slightly here the last few laps.
There are no cars between Hebron and James as they run 8th and 9th overall. The next gentleman driver, you got to go all the way back to 13th position. That's Jay DeGare. And he is in a little bit of a battle. Oh, no, actually he's not. It's a long way back to Bart Workman. I have to figure out the settings on my monitor here to make the night. Right now, talk about it being dark and full of terror. On my monitor, it's incredibly dark. Oh, Liam Park has had issues. Looks like a self-spin. Oh, a great job of getting around him from Jay Friels. We can watch this from away on Park and then maybe do the onboard from Friels. Look at Friels. Basically locks it up, waits for the car to clear, and goes around behind him. Nice job, Jay. Gonna go on board with Friels right now. You be the driver. You decide which way you want to go. Look how dark it is now. You see that car spinning. Work through the left-hander. It'll be the next corner here as they work through this right-hander. Boy, you wanted to go to the inside, but he made the right move and went behind the car.
Yeah, and Bill, I think I actually saw Jay before the race sporting some very cool night vision goggles, so I think that's how he was able to avoid that accident there.
You can see on the straight as they come down here, this is pretty well lit, this section, but sometimes they get to the back of the track, it's pretty dark out there. Not as bad as, like, I would say Sebring and Spa, probably the two darkest tracks that we have to cover on GSRC.
Yeah, definitely.
Spa and a little bit of fog, and it might as well be doing it on the radio. Hey, what a great camera shot that was as they go through the underpass.
Yeah, when those two places are at night, I mean, you can't even tell which track that you're on. You can tell me I'm at Sebring and put me on Spa. If it's dark enough, I won't be able to tell the difference.
Looking at Griffith there, that battle still for 4th and 5th. You can see that Snortland, one of the loyalists to the McLaren. Not a lot of love from the McLaren. I think that's probably the only one out here. Those backfires really show up in the darkness of Japan.
And again, Bill, if you're talking, this section of the track here isn't too bad, but yeah, leading up to that and then surprisingly, the underpasses, those are really dark areas.
Now, I'd like to report James Hume is still out there and still on the lead lap, so I think he probably, not sure if he took a tow, I think he probably limped that car around, came on in, probably took his fast repair, which means he's going to have to come in. He'll have one more stop to make, but at least he's still out there on the lead lap, and he has plenty of time to run down some of the drivers. As we're looking there at our leader right now, and you can see there are some lights that they go through. Looks like that's going through 1 and 2. I think I actually had that wrong. I think that was 3 and 4. Now they go through 5 under the underpass. There you go. Looking at this battle with Griffin, and it looks like Griffin has made the move on Snortland. Maybe we can go ahead and get a replay of that. He did that in 5. Snortland not giving up the ghost right now. That was a good pass from Griffin. Let's watch this one. You can see him duck. This is coming towards you to 5, and he gets inside, makes a nice clean pass. Snortland gives him plenty of room. And now we see that Hamilton is off. Another car that gets around him, that was Koltoff, a new driver get around him. That was a self-spin. Now the director thinks he might have got some contact. I don't think so. I think he put the right sides off on that Ford. I think he put the right sides off on the curbing, and the car just came around him. We'll get a good view of it here, James, from the car behind. Oh, we're riding on board with the car this one. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. I can do the sound effect for you there. That's the sound of those right side tires getting on those rumble strips.
The good news is a lot of runoff here at Twin Ring too, which is a blessing to these drivers here today.
It is a forgiving track, and a lot of the spins are also in those slower quarters, so your car doesn't run away with you. Unless, of course, you're Jason Lundy and you have no brakes, and I don't think there was enough runoff for him. He would have needed like a landing strip and a parachute to slow that car down. Maybe we can follow up on Jason. Was he able to continue? Let's see where he... I don't see him parked anywhere. Oh! From third position, Mike Griffith has had a spin, and he nosed it hard into the wall. That was a bit of a tank slapper. Again, he got the car out on the green stuff, and then it came around, he overcorrected, and Griffith from fourth position puts it in the wall. Had to take a tow. You're right on board. Watch this. You can see the right sides get way off here. He comes back, the car gets loose, he brings it back right into the Armco. Does a good job of staying on the brakes while he was out there on the tarmac so that the guys could get around him, and then took the tow. Griffith, a part-time driver this season, we haven't seen much of him.
Yeah, and man, looking at that Mercedes, that dog will not hunt.
No, that engine right up there, that's a tough one. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we have as far as manufacturers out there. Darling running in that Audi out in front. Then in the darkness, what am I looking at there? Another Audi, it looks like, from Tanaka. And then Hudson in the third Audi. And then we get to, the first car we get to, I would not expect it to have been a McLaren. I would have thought that the Mercs might have been out there. And then running out your top five in that beautiful Ford machine from Robert Tarbox.
Still, right now, your battle for first place in the gentleman category. Anthony James has gained another 2/10 in the last couple laps. So I mean, it's subtle, but it's steady progress.
Yes, good luck to you. I apologize that you're going to have to deal with the Wheel of Fortune little clue there with Anthony James and James Stacy put together. Feel free to just go Anthony James Stacy if you'd like.
Yeah, we could do that. I'm sure they have no problem.
Just a quick look though. James Stacy, what's funny is Anthony James and James Stacy race so much together on the track. We get confused, and I along with another James here, James next to me. Stacy is actually a pro driver, so that's really not a race for a point there. It's Daguerre running back, and 11th overall is the guy that Hebron really has to keep an eye on. Hebron's got to be feeling good now. Remember, we talked about him needing the wheels to come off the cart for James Humes for Hebron to have any chance to catch him in that amateur class. Well, so far the wheels have come off the cart as Hume running back there in 21st position right now. The bad news for Hebron is it's a pretty good sized gentleman class, so that's probably 7 or 8 drivers between him and Hume, so the points he can gain here, significant. Looking at the pass here, there we get that done. The pro driver of James Stacy gets around Anthony James.
But yeah, Bill, the wheels are definitely falling off the cart here, but the horse is still dragging it. So we do see James still pulling along there, trying to gain as many positions as he can to get back up there. We see Anthony James. A lot of Jameses in here today. I'm fine with that, by the way. But we have a lot of them in here tonight. We see Anthony James take a little bit of off-road there. No harm, no foul. He's trying to hunt down that lead of Peter Hebron.
I think James Stacy in the forums came. You don't have to call me James. You can call me Jimmy. There's so many Jameses back there. I had to alphabetize my driver so I could find Jason Lundy. I finally did find him. And it looks like he's racing right now currently in 7th spot. So I guess his little trip and his hardware issue didn't hurt him that badly. I would have thought that he would have suffered more than that. The way that he shot into the dirt, but he was able to turn it around. And if his car is healthy, he's got 5.7 seconds to get up to Drew Lipke. So we'll keep an eye on that. There's Drew racing in 6th spot. Okay, our director's found something here. 13th position. This is Curtis Paulson being ran down by, the Bay State Hammer, Tom Ratche. Remember, Ratche, you know, it's interesting, I guess, as Ratche's going to make this move on the inside as they work their way beneath the underpass. There's Ratche in a Ford today. So Ratche, as I checked my notes, I had marked it down wrong on my clipboard. Apparently Ratche came into the pits. Lundy was able to stay out there after his incident, so that was really unfortunate for Tom. Minded his own business and got the nose, I guess, ripped off the front of his beautiful Ford. Let's see, can we get a close-up on Ratche? I wonder see if his paint scheme is what I'm looking at there. Yeah, it's got a little interesting scheme going on there. Not racing that traditional puffin scheme. Oh, that's right. This is the new scheme that I keep forgetting about. Yeah, it's hard to tell in the dark. Puffin notorious for racing that blue and orange Gulf-colored car. Well, James, you came in on a nice, quiet race. These guys are behaving for you.
Yeah, you'll have those every now and again. So, especially after you have like a weird week, with the virtual rain last week, it's typically people just like to come in and, just try and get through that next race. We typically see that after a week of chaos, and we have, something a little bit back more to normal. And I think that's what we're seeing here tonight. But still some good battles and everything going on out there. I mean, we definitely had some interesting moments, that's for sure.
So we look at this battle that our director's on. That's exactly where I was looking at as well. That's Paul Darling. It might be fun. The director hates it when I start calling the shots. It might be fun to go on board with Victor the Tank Tanaka and see what that really looks like as he tries to run him down. That interval is about 2 seconds back. You can just see him. Boy, it's hard to see him up. You can see that car pull away. Just take that into the corner in the darkness. Get a good idea of how those headlights help you here. There you can see Darling. He can see him. He still can see him from corner to corner.
And you'll see this next section here. Those headlights will be very important. It gets very, very dark at this part of the track.
Sorry, I was away there for a minute reading a note from Dexter Castro. I will just go ahead. I don't have to take responsibility for the funniness of this joke. As why did the chicken cross the road? To forget about Motegi, I guess. So Dexter Castro apparently, says he sends me this joke, apparently forgot there was a race today. So Dexter, sorry that you're not with us. James, we're going to go back and look at this battle here. Just as Jay Friels. And it's in there with Workman. And this is a 3-car battle here. And also in there is Scott Johnson.
And we also have Trampus Kohlhoff as well. So we got 4 cars. Yeah, we got a whole train of cars right here with, again, Jay Friels leading that group right here. But this is your closest battle here on track. And you got 3 cars breathing right down his neck.
Now, what makes this fun for you, James? These are all gentleman drivers out there, all of the 300s. Let's see what kind of makes we have out there. Boy, it's hard for me to tell in the darkness. Looks like a couple Audis out in front.
Yeah, we have Jay Friels is in that Audi. On the inside right now, we got three Mercedes battling for that position right behind them right now. But yeah, we have 1 Audi and then 3 Mercedes trying to chase down that Audi.
And Scott Johnson, I think, was able to get... Oh, I guess it hasn't made that. He was defending that pass, so still trying to get around him is Bart Workman.
Yeah, and this is for 5th place in class as well.
We'll stay on this for a while. Now look up front as Friels is really being challenged. Johnson, after almost losing the spot to Workman, is now seeing if he can get back on Friels. It's going to be hard. It looks on my scheme, it looks like those 2 cars, looks like Johnson and Workman have similarly painted cars.
And here we go. We're going to see Jay Fields is under attack. Oh, and then a good braking point there on the outside. We're going to battle back in underneath the racetrack, underneath the oval. And he's going to pull it off on the outside there. Go ahead and move Scott Johnson up ahead of Jay Friels. Oh, and we see behind him, that's Bart Workman going off there. Going to take a little detour here through the track, and he's going to rejoin. I'm sure he'll have a slowdown penalty to serve with that as well.
Workman was in the hunt, but yeah, look at him go. I don't know if he actually... Yeah, look, he certainly got a slowdown penalty because, well, he was on the outside the first time, but by the time the track came back, he'll get a slowdown penalty for cutting the course. So that settles down a little bit, and when it's all sorted out, let's review actually then what happened there. It's going to end up with Friels is going to, it looks like Johnson is, oh, let's stay on this a little bit because I don't think Friels has given up, he's not surrendering the Casper. I'm tired of saying giving up the ghost. We'll change that turn of phrase a little bit there. As Johnson is still out in front, Friels still trying to stay in that hunt. Probably the best battle out there between those four gentlemen drivers. We'll stay on it. I can just report that the interval from Darling to Tanaka, 1.9 seconds. That's been holding steady right about that the whole time.
Yeah,
right
and your
on,
battle...
Jay.
Yeah, and your battle for the gentleman lead, that one has gotten spread out now with a pro driver in between those two of Peter Hebron and Anthony James, about 3 seconds separating those drivers.
Looking to see if anybody's able to close on anybody.
Oh, and here goes Scott Johnson off a little bit. We're going to see Jay Friels not able to capitalize, though, but he does close right back in. He's going to bring Trampus along with him.
So the fight continues. Johnson, Friels, Koltoff back there, and then trying to get back in the hunt is Bart Workman after his off.
We should be coming up on pit stops here soon before too long.
Yeah, actually, they're probably right in the middle of their window right now. I think it probably opened up. As you look on board there, we have 33 to go. Probably opened up about 7 minutes ago. Okay, I think we got a run here. I think he's got a good chance. Had a great drive through that final, through the under. Let's see what he can do here in this final corner and see if Friels can get... Nope. Not going to get there. What might be fun to do sometime during this race, if we can time, if we know when a driver's coming into the pit, you really need... We have seen drivers actually get lost here as they've tried to find the pit entrance in the dark. It is a...
I laugh because I have been one of those people.
Have you? Yes. It's hard enough in the daytime, but at night. I remember doing a race when I was just starting to race in one of my early races in the MX-5 World Tour. We did one on one of the obscure layouts there at Silverstone. I actually got lost. I literally got lost. Missed the corner. There's a corner at Silverstone. Have you ever done it? It's a right-hander. It's one of their layouts. It just kind of comes out of nowhere in the dark. I missed it and went on and just wandered around for the next 4 or 5 minutes trying to find my way back. Oh, looking here. Yeah, look at this Koltoff trying to get in there. Oh, I think he's got a good run. Trying to peek on the inside. That's a Mercedes against... What is that? That's the Audi he's chasing there. We know we've seen the one McLaren and, of course, the Audis and the Mercedes. We've seen Fords. Dexter's not here today. Not sure if we have a BMW out there. We do not, and probably the BMW might have fared pretty well at this track. Not some really horribly long straights, and some nice sweeping fast corners that BMW can grab onto.
And that's what I love about the GT3 cars is, I mean, they're very similar and very competitive with each other, but they do have their strengths and their weaknesses. So it always makes it where you'll definitely see at certain tracks, you'll see certain makes be a little bit quicker than the others.
Now I know you do a lot of time on the ovals. Do the Gen 6 cars? Do they are there much difference between the Fords and the Toyotas up there? Are they pretty much the same car?
Oh, there's a lot of big differences between those cars. One has a Toyota sticker, one has a Ford sticker, one has a Chevy sticker.
Got it.
I think they might even have different headlight decals. I'm not sure, but a lot of differences between those cars.
Get another comment here from Dexter who says the BMW is terrible here, so I guess then, Dexter, if you were going to miss a race in your beloved BMW, you picked a good one to miss. If you haven't had a chance to see a good race, check into our last one that we had. I know it was cut short at Suzuka, but it was a darn good race. Go ahead, James.
Well, I was just going to say that I just now remembered with the Porsche, joining the GT3 fray, and then you also have the Mercedes, you have the BMW. And you also have the Audi. You got a lot of German representation there in this in the GT3 fields here on iRacing.
We're saying that the Porsche is kind of a pseudo GT3 car. But it's bred to be a GT3, but yeah, it's not quite GT3 specs.
Okay, that might have been my confusion there. So it's the GT3 model, but not an actual GT3 class. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm a little bit smarter thanks to our director.
Yeah.
Oh, at least I can pretend when I have someone feeding me information, I can pretend to be smart.
But what we know is we're looking at this battle here for 8th position, talking about Germany. That's where we're going next time. And if you want to see a commentator have a hard time, come watch us next time, as I think we are doing the big layout at the ring. Talk about me getting lost at Sebring. I'm not going to be telling you much where we are. Basically, we're going to be going south or we're going north on the track.
And just leave it at it's. There's a lot of green and a lot of hell, and
yes.
you'll be good to go.
Now this is Hebron and Stacy. Stacy has done a good job of running down Hebron. That gap under a half a second now. That's an Audi trying to chase down that Ford. So good to see that whatever happened on the last rebuild or whatever happened, it seemed like the Ford is a little more competitive than it was in the past. I'm glad to see it out here. It's always pretty to look at it. As we are now 28 minutes to go, well past halfway. And other than the stop that Tom Ratchey made early on, and one to James Hume as well, nobody's been into a pit stop, and neither one of those Ratcheys or Humes were scheduled. They'll need to take one more. So
his was a little bit later. Would he be just on the outside of that fuel window,
so.
or
I don't
is he going to
think
be?
So yeah.
All right.
But he's done a good job. As the director has the cameras on him right now. Worked his way up into 11th. He's got about 4 seconds to get 4.5 seconds to get up. And oh, wait a minute! Now I have a better one. Let's not go. Let's go to Victor Tanaka from second place. Has spun. We had one from Karpov has spun, but right now Tanaka, that's coming out of the final corner. The tank does a good job of keeping it off the wall. He turns it around. Now, does he lose a position? He didn't. My goodness, he had such a big lead. He was still able to stay in front of Chris Hudson. right on board. Let's stay on it even. We'll stay on it the whole time here. Because watch as he gets it turned around. Now it's rolling backwards. Now he's fighting with the wheel to keep it off the wall. Now he looks ahead. He's got nobody in front of him. He does a little donut. Does a little bit of an over donut there. Kind of more of a croissant than a donut, but he gets the car going straight.
I know I was going to complain about more donuts.
There you go. So he remains in second, but that's going to give Oh My Darling all of a sudden I was going to talk about that 1.5 second lead where pit stops would matter. Paul Darling out there running all by himself, now 14 seconds ahead. In NASCAR, they call it stinking up the show. I hear James Hume coming over the mic. Oh, that was the, we didn't get the incident maybe with Trampus had that incident there of Kartoff. Maybe James Hume's got with him. We're going to see if we can find it here. It happened at the exact same time that our second place driver spun, so we didn't see it. Let's see what we're looking at there. Oh no, he got turned. He got bumped. Yeah. And I want to couch what I just said there. He did get turned, but obviously Trampus in front got loose. You'll probably be able to see it here as we look off over the wing. You'll see the star squiggle a little bit. Now I don't know for sure who got him, but I would assume
that was James Hume.
Assume that it was Hume because Hume came across. Yeah, thanks. Okay, the tank is coming in from second position. He is the first of our leaders to come in. He has fallen back to, he's going back to 8th spot.
But that being said, James Hume has gotten up to where he's starting to pick up a couple of positions there in that gentleman class. So he is starting to work his way up there. About to start battling for them. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Still in 8th in class right now, but within 5 seconds here of 4 more cars.
Yeah, right in front of him, he's got Workman. In fact, he'll have, there's a feeding frenzy for him up there. There's a buffet laid out for him between Workman and Friels, all within sight. Johnson as well, certainly strikeable. A buffet of gentleman drivers to sample. Tanaka has come out in 8th position. And he's got to be careful because now he's in a battle with, he's fallen in there with James Stacy. Peter Hebron is in there as well. He's in that mix that we were watching earlier. The good news for Tanaka is that he doesn't really have to hurry because I think he probably knows there's no way for him to catch up to Darling unless Paul has an oh my incident. And of course the tank is probably saying, yeah, Soup, that's what you were saying with me last time when I was running away with it at Suzuka right before the rains came and I got tangled up with a back marker and cost me a position. Oh, now we have something. What are we looking at here? We got, that was the pit entrance. Okay. It was Ratchy who was trying to get around. Yeah. Now this is Ratchy who's actually trying to make a pass in pit entrance. Now this is James ahead. Now Ratchy is going to try to make a move on the right-hand side, I think. Yeah, he got lost. James got lost. He went down the wrong pit entry.
That's not even a pit entry. That's another portion of the track right there.
We talked about it. Yeah, it's I love to say I told you so. There it is. He didn't know where he was going. Yep. If there's any consolation, I've seen it done more than once before, James. Anthony James.
He's not the first person to do that. He will not be the last. Probably not even in this race.
We look at Anthony James coming out right now. It's falling back to 20th position. probably lost composure there. He was in there a very long time and probably took tires. And you think, well, how long could that be? If you don't understand GT3s, you have to do the fuel first and then the tires. So it's about 20 extra seconds to take all four. And in an hour race, you're just not going to make up the advantage of fresh tires was not going to pay off for the last 20 minutes. 90 minutes is about the break-even point. If you try to do it in 2 hours, you really got to be brave.
Brave's one way to look at it. Lack of brain cells would probably be the way that I would describe it. 2 hours.
For the first time ever, I was covering an iRacing Drivers Association, as we're looking here at Darling, where one driver took left sides only. That's the first time I've ever seen that done in the GT3s, and it worked out. Didn't work out horribly for him. So usually you hear about drivers saying that it messes up the balance of the car. Chris Hudson now running in second, and Scott has come in. Darling with about 20 here. Tanaka has had more issues. Looks like a self-spin. It looks like... That looks like 4 in the darkness. I think 4 heading towards 5. The car just got loose on him. And he's going to lose position. Now, this is going to be interesting this time. Is he going to lose one to Hudson? Hudson has Hudson been in for his stop yet? No, I don't think so. Okay, we're going to watch Darling, and we're hearing that maybe it's a pit entrance again, so let's watch it, because there's an underpass now. He'll be coming. How's he doing? He gets off on the grass a little bit. Yeah. And then it looks like he's okay, unless he stopped. Maybe he had to serve something there. Darling has just made it, just coming out of his pits right now. And so I believe the Commentators Union makes us put the cameras on your overall leader, even though it's only temporary. And that would be Robert Tarbox right now. Darling has filed out in second. He's just ahead of Jason Lundy, but Lundy has yet to make that stop. What I'd like to see is, where is Tanaka in relationship to Hudson? Now, has Hudson come in here? Hudson should be... Oh, Chris, okay. Chris Hudson is way ahead. Chris is now in 5th position. That's going to move up to 2nd once all the cars in front of him come in. I believe Tarbox has got to get out of the way. James Stacy still has to make his stop. And Lundy as well. So you get those out of the way. That's going to put Hudson in 2nd. And the plethora of spins that Victor Tanaka has had not only cost him a battle for the lead, but now has cost him 2nd place as well. And possibly, maybe even more, depending on some of these cars that still need to pit. Tarbox coming across with a thank you. I imagine that was for Bart Berkman, who led him around. Okay, here comes Tarback under the underpass. I think he'll be coming in this time, as our director has read my mind, and we are actually on board. And, boy, that is scary, but he knows where he's going.
Yeah, no, that was real pretty.
Yeah. And here comes Lundy. James Stacy should be coming in, and no, he's going to go around one more time.
Peter Hebram, your gentleman driver leader, is in the pits right now. Gets in trouble-free.
So Stacy continues in 3rd place. Looking at my timing and scoring, that means everybody except James has come in for their stop now. There's Peter Hebron. I'm showing him, is he in the pits right now? He sure is, and he's coming out. Let's go ahead and see Hebron getting around him. Tom Ratchey gets a position on Hebron. And it doesn't look like anybody else. Liam Park is a lap down. I think Hebron's going to come out safely in 10th position, probably move up to 9th once James Stacy comes in.
Oh, and Peter Hebron right out of the pits and right off track. A little trip through the gravel, but he's going to continue on. I think he still had about a 5-second lead on your second place gentleman driver, which was at the time Jay Dargett.
A pair of AM drivers right now running 2 and 3, but of course Tarbox is going to come in. Lundy has worked his way up to be second overall now in that amateur class after his early issue. All right, watching James Stacy. It's time for him to bring that in now. Come on, James. You can. I know you got some type of egg under your gas pedal there, but it's got to come in. So he comes in 4th. We'll see where he cycles out. Losing positions right now to Tarbox. What a great run from Robert Tarbox, running 4th overall. Tanaka in 5th. We'll watch that. We'll see if Tanaka can run down Sticky Pine there. Jason Lundy in 6th. Drew Litke now goes by Stacy. Stacy now beginning to roll. Is he going to get out in front of Tom Ratchey? This is going to be close. Here comes Stacy in 8th position. Ratchey at full song. Stacy into the corner. I think he's going to get it. Stacy's going to file out in 8th. That's going to move the Bay State Hammer into 9th. And then we get down to 10th. There's your gentleman driver, Peter Hebron, with about a 5, almost 6-second lead over Sam Scott. Let's go through a little rundown, but Director, let's try this differently. We're going to do it by class here. So I'm going to... Paul Darling is your leader right now. Now, he's got Chris Hudson behind him, but the next one he's coming to that he has to watch out for is the driver in 3rd position. 2nd in class is Daniel Snordelin. Then we have to skip down to 5th position, and that's Tarbox, who is in a battle looking to get around Tanaka. That's what I meant to say. Tanaka in a battle trying to catch Tarbox. Then our next pro driver, we got to go down to the driver we just saw coming out of the pits. That's James Stacy, running 8th overall, 4th right now in class, about half a second ahead of Ratchey. So we'll watch that battle as well. Now let's run down your amateur class. We go back up to 2nd position. This is Chris Hudson. He's got Stordelin between him and Tarbox. And again, Tarbox is close to being passed by Tanaka, but it hasn't happened yet. Then we have to go all the way down to James Lundy, running in 3rd overall in class. 6th overall, 3rd in class. Now right behind him, but about 8 seconds back, is Litke. And then to look for our next amateur driver, we got to go way down to, I think, Curtis Paulson, running in 12th.
Yeah, and Peter Hebron is still leading your gentleman category. They're currently 10th overall. Behind him will be Samuel Scott in a 398. About 6 seconds back after that pit stop here, Jay Dargert will be in 13th overall, 3rd in class. About 11 seconds ahead of Anthony M. James, 4th in class. James Hume has worked his way up to 5th in class at this point, so is trying to recover from the issues he had early on. And I believe that James has pitted, so that should be up to date. And then Scott A. Johnson behind him, 6th in class. Trampus Colt Hoth is behind him. Bart Workman, Paul Hamilton, Jay Friels, Liam Park will round out your gentleman field, all 11 drivers in that field here today.
So really 3 battles we're going to keep an eye on. Let's go ahead and summarize them right now. Let's go to 14th position. We'll keep an eye on Anthony James. He's up by 2.6 seconds on James Hume, but I think Hume might have something for him with he has still about 11 minutes to get there. Another one we want to watch for is the Tarbox Tanaka battle. Tarbox still running out there in 5th. Oh, wait a minute, have we been? Oh, Tanaka got it done just by the time we did that rundown. So Tanaka was able to get around Tarbox. Tarbox drops down to 5th. And then I wanted to watch here. I think this one happened as well. I think Lundy. Was it not Litke that I was thinking that Lundy had a shot? I guess not. I guess Lundy can. Oh, that's what. Thank you, our director found it for me. Stacy and Ratchie, that's the one. So sure enough, Tom Ratchie has run down. Remember, we saw Stacy get out ahead of him in the pit stops by, probably a good 20 to 25 car lengths. Well, now the Bay State Hammer is behind him. That's the Ford looking to see if he can get around that McLaren. This is a battle for 8th overall, and also battle for a pro position as well. We'll stay on this. Oh, boy, look at that Ford. Just dives in. He just can't get it wound up. Really good on corner entry. Not so good on corner exit for Ratchet. Tom has showed a lot of patience trying to tell me how to use up all the road. Riding behind me in a car one time saying, Soup, you're just not taking advantage to all the tarmac that's out there. So I'm sure he appreciates me watching him right now, giving him critiques on how to get around James Stacy. Let me help you, Tom. Take it in a little slower. Slow in, fast out. See? All right, here we go.
Little backseat driving here on Wednesday night.
I sure hope Tom didn't have anything in his hand when he's watching this, or I can't guarantee the safety of his TV screen. All right, just giving Tom a hard time. He's doing a good job, though, seeing if he can get around James. He's got just under 10 minutes to do it, so. Let's see what kind of drive. We'll stay on this a minute. We'll see what kind of drive he gets off these final corners. See if he wants to try to do it into one. He'll need a good bite out of here. And that Audi kind of pulls away. Don't know if the Ford's going to be able to get there. Let's see if Tom forces the issue. Nope, not going to do it through there. So now you go around here. You look on the end of the aisle there where they're selling like the orange juice. Then you come down here through the canned pears and the canned peaches. Hit your braking mark right there at the cream corn. Down this section. Now you're back down the other aisle. This is frozen foods.
Bill, just let me know when we get to the ice cream. That's what I'm interested in.
This is the frozen food right here. Then you can make this drive in here. Let's see if he has a chance to do it here. Nope. Oh, now he's got to run. Now he's got to run. Now he peeks to the inside, going to stick his nose in there. He's going to try to force him a little wide, but now he's on the outside. Let's see if he can get some momentum off the outside now. That Ford will have a good drive off. Now he gets his nose ahead. Now he's still got to get it done here, and I think he can finish it up. He does. Should be able to fend it off. We're going to do a little dipsy-do from the Audi. Nope. Move Tom Ratchie. Nice job there, Tom. Up into 8th spot. James Stacy back into 9th.
And he got there before we got to the magazines.
All right, now here comes the tank. He has got around Tarbox and left Sticky Pine well behind him. Now the next up is see if he can run down that McLaren of Daniel Snordlin. Still 7.5 minutes to do it. Plenty of time to get there.
Gotta love that backfire. That's a cool shot.
Oh, and Tanaka one more time has a little bit of an off into the Japanese Alfalfa. And he's going to surrender the position back to Tarbox. We're going to go on board inside of the tank's car.
I think he just got intimidated there by that awesome backfire.
Yeah,
Those jet engines coming out of the back of the McLaren.
Little target fixation there. Lost where he was. Well, Robert Tarbox saying, gosh darn, I got to play defense one more time. All right. By my calculations on my clipboard, that's the 3rd mistake that the tank has made. Running in 5th. Could have been challenging for the lead right now. Certainly had the pace to run with Darling. who was out there in front by 22 seconds. Right now, Tanaka trying to get that spot back one more time. Now, this is not really a battle for points as Tarbox is a AM driver and Tanaka is a pro driver. But it does matter in the team championship, because when they do the team championship, they line them up alphabetically by height, and they give out the points that way. There is no by class. So Tanaka would like to help his team here if he could. Plus, I just think there's something in him that's just want to get around Tarbox.
I believe that's called being a racer.
Yeah. Looking to see that maybe we're seeing some weird numbers for Lundy if he had an issue. I'm not seeing anything showing him at least in 6th position. I think we're okay. He had to work his way around Paul Hamilton, but Hamilton is in the pits right now, so I wonder if something maybe happened to Hamilton that we caught by mistake. Because Hamilton was out there. Yeah, that's what we're thinking. We see maybe Hamilton had an issue. No, he just... Yeah, maybe... Oh, he had a little spin. It looked like last lap he was letting the car of Tanaka get around it. Okay, we're going... Oh, actually... Tanaka turned him. That's something we may want to see. We're looking at this battle right now. This is Tanaka right now. This is live we're looking at on the back of Tarbox. What happened to Hamilton was this battle came through between Tarbox and Tanaka, and poor Paul was kind of an innocent bystander caught in the middle. I think our director has found it here, unless this might be a little bit. Yeah, no, we're not going to be able to find that one. It was about a lap ago, but that's okay. Paul Hamilton would probably have liked to have seen it, but look at Tanaka is just. Poker player, and here comes the pass right now. Tanaka gets that done. Poker players will know that as being on tilt. That's a phrase when you had the best hand and the card came out on what they call the river and you ended up losing a big pot and you just can't get away from them. The next thing you know, you've lost your whole bankroll. And I think Tanaka out there right now is steaming. He's got that done. So, the good news for Snortlin is he has about 3.3 seconds now back to Tanaka with only 3.5 minutes to go. I think 3rd place looks pretty comfortable for him. Chris Hudson had that 8-point lead over Jason Lundy. Lundy currently running 2 positions behind. Tarbox separating between Hudson and Lundy. That's going to make that very close. I think probably 1st and 3rd is not enough to close in 8-point gap. It'll be very close. Check back with us in a couple weeks when we go to Germany to see if it's going to be Hudson or Lundy in the points lead in the amateur class. James, it looks like Hebron looks pretty safe back there. About a 2-second lead on Scott right now.
Yeah, that has been closing in a little bit. So, the race is definitely not over, but he has been holding on to that lead here for a while. But Scott has closed in about a couple seconds here in the last few laps. So, with as much time we have left in this race, at least 2, maybe even 3 more laps here, there's a chance that he might catch him.
I also think there's a chance if we go back to 13th position. This is a battle in a gentleman's class. It would be a battle for, I think, 3rd overall. This is Daguerre and Anthony James. If I'm reading this right, yeah, this is a battle. They're 13th overall. James about just under 2 seconds back. And then still in the hunt only about another 1 second back from that is we talked about the buffet that's in front of James Humes. Well, he's got his plate in hand and serving utensil in his other hand. Coming up, he's got Park. He's got to get around Park first. But then it gets up to James and Daguerre. In fact, Park gets out of the way. Taking a look at our leader here is Darling coming across the start-finish line right now. And I think he just, with just over a minute to go, this is the white flag lap he's on right now. So that means if James Hume is going to get anything done, he's got to get it done. He still has the start-finish line to come across, and then he'll need to get it done on that last lap. So about 1.5 laps for him. Darling working the back half of the track right now, 21 seconds up. We're going to see Paul again. He is registered for the Autobahn Sports Car Challenge. That's going to be coming up, their first race on Monday, and Paul will be there.
And if you want to see some good racing, definitely jump in and check out those Autobahn guys. And that's going to be an actual multi-class.
It's a real multi-class one.
Yeah, it's the guys always put on a great show over there.
Just like in real world, January, February starts to roll around, things start to happen here on the Global Sim Racing Channel as a lot of series start to get underway. James PRL getting ready to get started up as well, aren't they?
Yeah, we have qualifying starting up here just next week. Got 3 weeks to lead up to one race. Should be quite fun. You see that a lot. Lionheart here starting up here, I believe, with the All-Star race here next week. Everyone's getting real geared up here, and which means that I'm getting really excited. I'm in my happy place.
Looking at Paul Darling working his way beneath the underpass. He's got this left-hander to negotiate, the right-hander, which will send him back out onto the main straightaway. Round number 8 of the Championship Motorsports GT3 Series goes to Paul Oh My Darling.
Your gentleman class has a good battle going on.
Yeah, we'll cover second place overall is going to go to Chris Hudson. And first in amateurs. Now let's go. As we hear the fireworks going off, let's go ahead and look for P3. Oh my goodness, has Snordlin been ran down? Snordlin has been ran down by Tanaka. Tanaka has a chance. Tanaka turns him. Snordlin got loose. That really wasn't Tanaka's fault. Tanaka's going to come across in third. Tarbox is going to get forced. Snordlin is still sitting there as he loses a position to Lundy and Workman. Tons of positions go by. I think, nope, those were locked down. Snordlin still sits there. Let's go ahead and pick up that gentleman battle that James was talking about. That's back to James Hume. We're going to go back to 13th position.
Oh, no. Peter Hebram, 343. Samuel Scott has caught him as they just came out of the hairpin. Coming down here, they're about to head back underneath the oval.
Here we go. This is Hebron. This is 10th
This is his last good chance. Yeah, he still has a small chance right here as they come here underneath the fireworks. But unless he makes a dive bomb here, it's close.
Well,
he's not going to be able to get him, no.
After I just saw from Tanaka and Snordlin, anything is possible. But it looks like hanging on. Hebron holds on. Scott is going to get 10th overall. We go back to 13th now. We're going to look at this battle, and this is still going on. This is Daguerre, and then James is back in there, and Hume. Now, watch out for Hume. Hume is the caboose in this one. Does he have enough to get there? I don't think so. They're going to finish in that order. 12th position, 13th position, 12th position for Daguerre. As waiting for Snordlin. I don't know where Snordlin's going to finish.
Snordlin is going to still be there, and I'm seeing that Snordlin ran out of fuel. That's why he's still sitting there before the finish line.
And I wonder if that's not what happened, why he got turned, I think.
And they're saying that's exactly what happened.
Look at this. This is the final corner, and that McLaren lost most of his fuel out of the exhaust, I think, and it just wouldn't go anywhere, and that's why he got punted by Tanaka. McLaren just losing a little too much in the exhaust. Watch this. Now, this is the left-hander. Now, when they come around for the final corner, he must have known he was running on fumes, and it just wouldn't go. And so what that meant was not only did he get turned, he wasn't able to get the car rolling to even cross the finish line. Snordlin finishes the lead car 1 lap down, 15th overall, from 3rd to 15th, because he was about maybe 100 yards short on petrol. Okay, what we're going to do right now on the Global Sim Racing channel is take a short break. We'll come back to run down the entire standings, do driver interviews, and close up shop. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Championships Motorsports GT3 Championship Season number 2 from Motegi. This is round 8 on a 10-race calendar. And our winner today was Paul Darling, pretty much going wire to wire. He was being closely chased by Victor Tanaka until Tanaka had some issues. Now, what is really important is our second place driver, Chris Hudson, who is the winner in the AM class, and that's going to put him very close to the lead in that division. Victor Tanaka, we talked about, able to get a third place as he got around the car that ran out of gas of Daniel Snordelin. Fourth place goes to Robert Tarbach, second for the amateur drivers. And then in fifth, another amateur driver, Jason Lundy. Sixth place, amateur driver again, and that is Drew Litke. So if you look at amateur drivers, they go 2, 4, 5, and 6. Kind of makes you question about how much amateurs they really are. Seventh place, Tom Ratchie. Had some issues, brought that Ford home just ahead of James Stacy, a pair of pro drivers there. And then in ninth position, Peter Hebron picks up his second gentleman win in a row. He likes Japan because he won in Suzuka, and he follows it up here at Motegi. Samuel Scott finished about 3 seconds behind him, a gentleman driver rounding out your 10th spot. James?
Then you have Curtis Paulson, amateur driver there, finishing in 11th. Jay Dargert, gentleman driver there in 12th. 13th, you have another gentleman driver, Anthony M. James. And James Hume was able to get his way back up there to the 14th position as well. Then you have Daniel Snordelin after that last lap, running out of fuel off the last corner. I'll come home 15th. That's a pro driver there. And then the rest will have Scott A. Johnson, Bart Workman, Trampus Kolthoff, Liam Park, and Jay Friels, all gentleman drivers. Paul Hamilton, another gentleman driver, and Mike Griffith finishing shotgun on the field, your pro driver.
And so before we go to interviews, let's talk a little bit about the points here. Not here today is your overall pro leader, and that is Umberto Roca. I believe he had actually a half a point as a pocket point. It said 1 on the overlay, but I honestly think it's a half a point. So he'll pick up 1/2 point for not being here today. But look at this. Darling and Tanaka go 1-2 in class, so they will get 25, and I think it's like 22 for second position. So that gap, which was about, I think, 30 and 35, is going to come down considerably. Take a move over to the amateur class. We talked about Hudson again. He has a tar box between him and Lundy, so I think he's going to be able to close in considerably. That 8-point gap going to be very interesting as we come along to the last few races. And even in the gentleman class, where we thought that Ewan was running away with it, you know, we have another Hebron wins again, and he's going to finish 1, 2, 3, 4 positions ahead of James Hume, so he makes up a little bit of that substantial gap that James Hume have. Let's go ahead right now and bring in our overall winner today, and that is Paul Darling. Bring him down into the booth. Oh my, congratulations, 2 in a row. This one you had to go the whole distance to get.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I consider the Suzuka race a real win, but kind of hollow. But this one was very intense.
You were on your way to winning that one. Let's talk about this one. You had Victor behind you looked like he had the pace to give you everything you could possibly want, sitting back there for about a second and a half, the early part of the race, and then had some issues, and that was pretty much all she wrote.
Yeah, it kind of felt like a mirror of Suzuka, where I was following Victor closely, and then I spun out. I'm not sure what happened to him, but after that I was just able to breathe a giant sigh of relief and just bring it home.
Now you got coming up here, got Autobahn series coming up in a sec. What other series are you racing? Are you racing in any official iRacing series this season?
I actually just started going back to official in IMSA for the participation credits. Got a lot more time now that I'm out of college.
Where did you go to school?
UMBC, not Manitoba.
I remember. I got that one. That is the University of Maryland. BC was what was that? I can't remember. What was BC?
Baltimore County.
Baltimore County. All right. Hey, I remember seeing that on the side of your car. Well, congratulations on the win today. Congratulations getting through with school, and good luck to you not only this season, but now it's time to go out and earn some money.
Thanks, guys.
Paul Darling. All right. Is he a college graduate now? Good for him. Let's go ahead and see who we can talk to. You want to bring in? I thought maybe we let James talk to. Oh no, we have our gentleman winner. Why don't we go ahead and we'll bring in Hebron, who was the winner in the gentleman class. Go ahead, James.
Oh no, I believe we have Chris Hudson here, the winner of your
Chris Hudson, okay.
AM. Yep. But Chris Hudson come home with a victory here today. Second overall. Had to be pretty pleased with your showing out here under the lights here in Japan.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a fairly uneventful race for me. After the start, guys in front of me kind of took off and put a little gap on the guys behind me. But I'm super happy with that. I think that's probably my best finish overall in this series. So yeah, I'm super happy.
Yeah. Now being in that amateur class, you have 2 more weeks here, and also the Nordschleife next week. We'll get to that here in a second, but to be able to finish second overall, especially considering that you have those pro drivers there, what does this say about your future here, probably with the series?
I don't know. I'll kind of let the cards fall where they may. I think right now I'm just mainly focused on Jason Lundy and trying to close that gap and see if I can take home the championship. So I've the whole race I'm asking my teammate, "Where's Lundy now? Where's Lundy now?" So it's been pretty fun racing Lundy here as we get to the end of the season.
Now, and here in 2 weeks, we are heading to the Nordschleife. And this isn't just the GP circuit. You have a lot of track to learn. How are you feeling about the 9th round here in 2 weeks?
Oh boy, it's gonna be interesting. I think that's all I can say. They've got probably a lot of practice to do here up until the race.
Yeah, and I remember when that first came out, I was so excited when I got a lap done there, and now you have an entire race to do. So that could definitely, it's definitely going to challenge everyone, and we'll definitely see a lot of shakeups next week, I'm guessing.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's something different. I'm excited. It's just totally different type of track and everything. So it's good to have it on the schedule and just mix things up a little bit.
Now we know you're here in the Championship Motors, but what other you run any other leagues, any other official series that you're running this season? Tell us a little bit more about your 2017 endeavors.
Yeah, I actually just did the 24 Hours of Daytona with some guys here in Champion, and that was a lot of fun. I'm hoping to continue on with that endurance series the rest of the year with iRacing. So, and then also I run some dirt rally as well. We have a dirt rally series on Champion that I've been participating in as well. So, lots of good stuff to do this year.
Well, very cool. A little bit of dirt, a little bit of endurance, a little bit of sprints like we saw here tonight. Definitely getting out there to all the different disciplines out there. Chris, congratulations on your win tonight, and good luck here in 2 weeks at the Green Hell.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Chris Hudson, your second place driver, overall winner of the amateur class. Okay, I'm going to bring in another amateur driver here. He finished 4th overall, second in class right now, and that is Robert Sticky Tarbox. Robert, do you have a copy?
Yes, I do. How's it going?
Very, very good. Congratulations on your 4th place finish here today. How many times are you going to have to let Tanaka pass you in a race, huh?
Oh, as many times as he needs to get past me.
He got past you in the middle there, then he got past you at the end, then he spun and had to go around you one more time. You got to be pretty pleased with second overall in class.
Oh yeah, I even led a lap. It was the first time I ever done that in CMS. So I just had strong pace all day. About 10 minutes ago, I started developing a little push in the car and the sweepers, but other than that, my set was just spot on. So I'm definitely saving copies, making a read-only file, doing all the little things to make sure that I don't overwrite the setup, because this is definitely a setup I'm going to be saving.
All right, let's jump ahead to the Green Hell. Have you had any experience on that? Hopefully, you've started the learning curve already, or do you know what's coming up there?
Yeah, I used to race like Nürburgring and other sims, and one of the lines I developed, actually, funny thing is, Gran Turismo gets a bad rep for not being realistic, but there was actually a mode in Gran Turismo 5 that specifically taught you how to drive that car with a big, heavy Mercedes, and ever since I learned that line, I went to iRacing, and when they released it, I could almost use the same exact line with almost no issues. So it's just I got to put the time in to learn it with the Ford GT, because Ford GT doesn't like the curbs as much as a Mercedes does. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen.
It's funny, you talk about sometimes sim racing carrying over into real world racing. Here's an incident where sim racing carries over into sim racing, where one platform helps you on another.
Oh yeah, I mean, you gotta play a variety of sim racing. I mean, iRacing, it's fantastic for competition, but you still gotta play other games, because other games will have LMP1s, which are absolute beast to drive, and so I'll play like Game Stock Car or the Assetto Corsa. Just keep the variety up, because if you keep looking at the same sim, you're gonna drive yourself crazy.
Got it. Well, congratulations today. Good luck when you go to Germany. Nice job for you, as you brought that number 286 car home in 4th position. Good job.
Thank you very much. It was great to talk to you again. That's the best part about these good finishes.
Hey, you're on a roll. All right, Robert Tarbox, 1st place. We're gonna do one more. We're gonna let James talk to Victor Tanaka, who finished 2nd in class, spent probably more time on the grass than I have ever seen him spend off track. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, Victor, you should be getting a nice paycheck from the guys here that run Twin Ringer Motegi. Did a good job cutting the grass a couple times tonight, but still comes home with a good 2nd place in class, finished 3rd overall. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, definitely practice a little bit of landscaping there, right?
No, you did a beautiful job.
Yeah, it just wasn't my night at all. I didn't get enough practice this week. Just like everybody else, I don't really like this track. But yeah, when I found out that Humberto wasn't showing up, I thought it was a good chance of getting some points back. But yeah, I guess my luck had another idea tonight.
Yeah, now let's talk about that last lap. Coming off the last turn, Snortland runs out of fuel right in front of you. What went through your mind there as you came off that last corner?
Well, the thing is, I didn't know he was running out of fuel, but I did notice that he was going slow. So he's either messed up his braking, or he's just getting nervous because I'm really close, feeling the pressure. And then I'm like, all right, this is my chance of getting the over under and getting a run on him to the line. And then all of a sudden he just stops in front of me. Like, oh shit. And yeah, just ran him over. And yeah, at the point I didn't know. And I was like, dude, like if I really just punt him around, I'm really, really sorry. That was not my intention at all. But yeah, and then he said he ran out of fuel, so
makes you feel better, especially when you come off that last turn and just hold it wide open, close your eyes, and just hope for the best, and just wonder what that scrape was when you get past there. But still, it works out well for you. You get that 3rd place overall, 2nd place. Now we do head to the Green Hell here in 2 weeks. If you were, that's definitely a track you want to get some practice in at.
What track?
The Nürburgring.
Is that the? Oh yeah, that's the. And it's the good layout, right?
The good layout. I like that.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun, and I actually have a lot of practice there with the Audi. So yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Let's see how many people we lose each lap. I'd say 5 each lap.
Five each lap. All right, we have Victor Tanaka taking the 5 per lap. We'll start tallying up the bets here and everything, and take it down to Vegas, and we'll see how we come out here in 2 weeks.
All right, guys. Very nice talking to you, and thanks for the broadcast as always.
Thank you, Victor. 2nd place in your pro class, 3rd overall. Bill, take us out.
And we apologize for any colorful language there. We don't have our second delay button working right now. We hope you'd return and join us when we go to Germany for that race coming up. It looks like the drivers are excited to see it. Championship Motorsports, we'd like to thank them for organizing the series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. We know you have lots of choices when you fly. Thanks for flying GSRC. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on our broadcast. The original music that you heard on today's broadcast is thanks to Eric Echolm and Casey Lalonde. Come on, guys. If you haven't gone to their website yet, go ahead, see how to contact them, download some of their music. Hey, the Championship Motorsports GT3 Series returns in 2 weeks. We've been talking about it February 15th for the penultimate round as it tackles the combined configuration at Nuremberg. The CSRC will be there, and we hope that you join us. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, such as upcoming broadcast dates, or to schedule a GSRC to broadcast an event of your own, your best bet is GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. We're also at Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. Now, on behalf of my mate James Krahul and our director Amjad Yam and camera artist Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching and wish you all the very best the rest of the week. And a happy Super Bowl to you as well. And with that said, it's time for us to go have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race hard, race clean, and we'll see you on the track.